What if the words you spoke in a single heated moment changed your entire life? Tonight, we're diving into the story of a young waitress who dared to stand up for herself in front of a room full of strangers. Little did she know, the millionaire she clashed with would return the next day with something that would alter her future forever. Stay with me, because this one will keep your heart racing until the very end. Clara was 24, juggling 2 jobs just to keep her younger brother in school after their parents had passed away. By day, she worked at a small bookstore. By night, she tied her apron at a busy downtown restaurant. The nights were always the hardest, exhausted customers, endless orders, and tips that barely covered rent. But Clara carried herself with quiet strength, her warm smile hiding the exhaustion she battled inside. That Friday night, the restaurant was unusually full, laughter, clinking glasses, and the low hum of a jazz band. At table 12 sat a group of men in expensive suits, their watches gleaming more than Clara's entire month's salary. Among them was Richard Hale, a self-made millionaire known for his booming business empire and a reputation for arrogance. From the very beginning, Clara noticed the way Richard spoke, snapping fingers at staff, making dismissive comments, treating waiters like shadows. Clara had dealt with difficult customers before, but something about his tone cut deeper. When she brought the table's food, Richard leaned back in his chair and said, loud enough for the entire restaurant to hear. "Is this what you call service? No wonder people like you stay stuck in jobs like this." The table laughed. Clara froze, her face flushing. For a moment, she thought of swallowing her pride and walking away, but then, something inside her snapped. Clara turned, set the tray down, and with steady eyes, spoke, her voice calm but firm. "Sir, with all due respect, the people who serve you food are not beneath you. We work double shifts so people like you can enjoy nights like this. You measure worth in money, but you can't buy respect." The room fell silent. Forks stopped midair. The jazz band hesitated for a beat. Even Richard's friends shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Richard narrowed his eyes. For the first time, he seemed caught off guard. He opened his mouth to reply but nothing came. Clara, realizing the weight of her words, straightened her apron, nodded politely, and walked away. She didn't cry. She didn't break. But inside, her chest pounded like a drum. All she could think was, what if I lose this job? By the end of her shift, whispers followed her. Some customers left bigger tips on her table, others gave small nods of respect. Still, Clara went home with fear heavy in her stomach. Standing up for herself felt powerful, but consequences were looming. That night, she prayed quietly, "Please don't let this ruin me. Please let tomorrow be kinder." The next day, Clara walked into the restaurant with a knot in her stomach. She half expected to be called into the manager's office and fired. Instead, the hostess handed her a sleek black envelope. Her name, Clara Evans, was written in elegant handwriting. Inside, she found a heavy, matte black card embossed with gold letters. "This is not a punishment. This is a door. Use it wisely. Richard Hale." It was a centurion black card, the kind reserved for billionaires and elites. Clara had only heard stories about it, never seen one in real life. Along with it was a letter. "Last night, you showed me something money can't buy, integrity. I've spent years surrounded by people too afraid to speak the truth. You reminded me of who I was before the world spoiled me. This card has no limit. It's yours to use, but only for education, dreams, and a better future. Prove me right in trusting you." Clara's hands trembled. Her co-workers gasped when they saw it. She felt dizzy, overwhelmed. Was this real? Why her? Instead of rushing out to spend, Clara took a deep breath. She thought of her brother's education, her own unfinished degree, the bills stacking at home. This wasn't just a card, it was a chance. Weeks passed. Clara used the card cautiously, not for luxuries, but for opportunities. She enrolled back in college to finish her studies. She paid off her brother's tuition. She even covered rent for another struggling coworker who had been on the verge of eviction. Word spread about the waitress with the black card, but Clara never flaunted it. Instead, she worked harder, studied longer, and slowly built the life she once only dreamed of. One evening, Richard returned quietly to the restaurant. This time, no entourage, no arrogance. Just him. Clara approached his table, unsure what to say. Richard smiled, not the smug grin from before, but a humble one. "You changed me," he admitted. "I came here last night thinking I was untouchable. But your words, they made me look at myself." "Thank you." Clara nodded softly. "Sometimes people just need reminding," she said. For the first time, they shared a moment of mutual respect, not as millionaire and waitress, but as two humans. And so, one moment of courage not only gave Clara a second chance, it changed the heart of a man who thought he had everything. Remember this: speaking your truth might cost you in the moment, but sometimes, it opens doors you never imagined. If you were Clara, would you have dared to speak up that night?